Okay, it's been a while since the last Chimera demo, so the new one is going to be the beginning of the menu engine. This is the program right here. Well, you can't see it very well on YouTube, but like I like to do on these demos, if I run it on Stella, I'm just getting a lot of nothing because it's loading almost everything via the queues, and the queues aren't working in emulation. So now I'll just load it into the cartridge via X modem. I've got picture-in-picture here. Swap the picture-in-picture. Okay. Turn off the picture-in-picture. So here it is. This is the demo. We can change the colors, but all of the color changes going down here, and then the color changes of the text itself are handled via the queues. And all of this data, the colors and the graphics for the fonts, are automatically being generated by the ARM. This here is a directory list of the microSD card, and this top element is actually a folder. So this is static right now, so eventually we're going to color code everything depending on whether you have the row selected and whether the file is a folder. This is probably going to be the folder color, some kind of shade of red, and this would be a selected row, and you'll be able to move it up and down. And then we'll have arrows for when you have it selected up here, you'll be paging left and right. This color is subject to change. So that's the way it's going to look. This here is the ASCII value for the tilde character, because these are long file names, and so it's converting it to 8+3. So I'm thinking it looks okay. Normally you'd probably want to avoid having long file names on your microSD card, and the way the sorting is going to work, it's the default ordering on the file system itself, so it depends on the order that you copy the files over. I'm hoping that won't be too inconvenient for people. So if you pre-sort in Windows Explorer or on a Mac, I'm assuming it would work the same way, and then you just drag it over as a unit, then it should maintain the sorting. So if you have to add a file to your microSD card, you'll have to maintain a mirror of your microSD card on your hard drive and get it all set up, and then just drag it over. And that's because of memory limitations in the ARM itself, because these folders can be hundreds and hundreds of files, and there's just so much RAM we can devote to it inside of the ARM. So I mean, in theory we might be able to juggle files around and sort things, but realistically probably not going to happen. But still, you can get the same effect if you just prep your card properly. So hopefully the next demo that we show should be interactive, because what I'm doing right now, and you can't tell because the ARM's not really reacting to it, but it's I'm posting all of the UI events to the ARM, the joystick, the trigger, and I'm also parsing the paddle, reading the paddle, so you'll be able to move this up and down using the paddle. And we just haven't figured out exactly yet what we're going to do as far as the detection of the controllers. I'm thinking you'd have to hold down the trigger button if you want to indicate joystick or paddle for the menu UI, and you wouldn't want to do that for the driving controller, because that one just wouldn't work if you were to parse it like a joystick, and it really wouldn't be smart enough to figure that out on the fly. So hopefully that should cover most of the bases. So you'll just use the console switches if you're using, let's say, the keypad or the gun, the light gun, and that should be able to do everything you need it to do. Otherwise, you can take advantage of a joystick going up, down, and then paging left and right, or the paddles where you can kind of use it like the click wheel on an iPod and just kind of scroll up and down. We haven't quite decided how we're going to handle the scrolling, but I'm thinking you're just going to be able to scroll for one page because of the way the paddle. We only have enough time in the kernel to read the paddle in between the lines, so the paddle really only has a resolution of however many rows we have here. So you'll have to just move it up and down and then use the console switches or maybe the two paddle fire buttons to page left and right or something along those lines. So that's it for now, and we'll let you know how it's progressing.